I'm going to explain about production and cost. So what is production? So let us know what is production in detail. Production is nothing but the conversion or transformation of input and output. To make it more simpler and easy, I am going to give you an example of a building. A building is a final output. So what all inputs or raw materials do we need to construct that final output? The inputs are nothing but cement, sand, rods, jellies, bricks. All these are the inputs. So we saw input and output in a production process. So who is the person who converts this input to the final output? He is known as the producer. Producer nothing but the person who produces the goods. Goods are the output. Next we are going to see the factors of production. Factors of production are nothing but the inputs. Without these four factors of production, we cannot run any business or we will not get a satisfied output. The factors of production are land, labor, capital and organization. In this only we have fixed and variable. Some inputs will be fixed for certain period of time and some inputs will be varying. So for fixed we have an example of land. Land is fixed for certain period of time. And labor varies. We can change the number of, it depends upon the production process. We can increase the number of labor or we can decrease the number of labor. Next we are going to see production function. Production function. So we have in production function we have an equation QY function of land, labor, capital and organization. So what is Q? Q is output. Y is the function of land, labor, capital and organization. Here we have another equation over here. Production function of K and L. K is nothing but capital, L is nothing but labor. For this we have an example over here. We have to draw three columns and name them as labor, capital and output. So and the combination A, B, C and so on. In the combination A, if the labor is 0 and the capital is 0, the output will be 0. Without labor and capital, no output is done. So we get labor, capital as 0. Next, combination B. If the labor is 1 and capital is 2, the output will be 20. So the output will be 20. It will be more. It will be always capital must be more than the labor and so on. Next, to show the relationship of input and output in much better. To show it much better, we are going to see what is isoquants. Isoquants is also known as product curve. So what is isoquants? The combination of any two inputs which gives the maximum level of output. For example, labor and capital. First we must draw y-axis and x-axis and name the y-axis as labor and x-axis as capital. When we have more number of labor and less number of capital, draw this and name this point as A. A is known as the level of output. Next, when we have equal amount of labor and equal amount of capital and name it as B. This is also known as the level of output. Next, when we have labor less and capital more and name it as C. So sometimes the labor will be more and capital will be less, but the final output will be always equal and satisfied to the customer. And draw a curve on A, B, C and D. This shows when this curve slopes downwards. This curve always slopes downward. This shows the level of satisfaction to the consumer. And this curve is always convex to the origin. This curve is always convex to the origin. The high level of isoquants. The high level of isoquants shows the high level of output. Next, we are going to see the difference between indifference curve and isoquants. Now we are going to see the difference between isoquants and indifference curve. So what is isoquants? It measures in terms of quantity. So indifference curve, it measures in terms of satisfaction. So find the cost. After the production process, the product will be labeled with the reasonable price so that it reaches all the consumers. This decides the profit or loss of any organization. Thank you.